Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Dark. This is the 10th episode, the finale of the first season. Hope you guys are excited for today's episode. If you'd like to watch the full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in and enjoy. I'm so excited for today's episode. The finales on most TV shows that you actually watch are the best episodes of the season. And I've got to say the season's been really good so far. There's been lots of twists, lots of turns, lots of conspiracies, trying to guess who's who and what's going on and why, and everything that's been revealed to us has been really fascinating. And obviously I can't wait to see how we conclude this season and move into the second. Now, I always think that you should end each season with the storyline being finished and start fresh moving in to the new one. It just gives a new story for the second season and something to get excited and get behind the back and run and, you know, try and break down like we have here in season one. But if that's not the case and we're leaving another cliffhanger and an extension from this season, it's not too bad because it's not as if there's been millions of episodes. You know what I mean? I feel like 10 have been a good amount. So last episode, again, we've been jumping through the timelines. We've had information revealed. You know, Ulrich was arrested for actually potentially killing that kid, even though he didn't actually kill him, which is, again, very interesting. He actually woke in that little room. We found out that room's a room that he's working in. Well, I would say, what is it, in the 86 with Noah, and that's the one that they actually, you know, doing the experiments on the kids in. Again, very interesting. And then also, you know, we did see at the end of the episode, basically the guy that jumped back and spoke to Jonas, the one who's been giving him information, he's gone in, he's done some searching, and he's actually found the containers that the power plant have actually moved away and locked up. So I don't know what he's going to do with them, but again, very interested to see. And also to drop something that was interesting in, we did see how basically how the guys running the power plant actually came here to the village. He come with an alias, he come with a false passport, he pretended to be somebody else. At the time, when he was younger, back in 86, you know, Jonas's mum actually was watching him hide his passports kind of like underneath a tree log and a weapon, and she actually went and took it. And all the way into the present, she's actually gone and she's blackmailed him and said, mate, I know who you truly really are. You know, you've got this secret for so long and I'm going to expose it unless you do something for me, unless you use your contacts and you make Ulrich's life a living hell. So that's very interesting. She pecks my head very much, but I'm excited obviously to see what we do in the final episode. Thanks for checking it out. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump in to the final episode of the first season of Dark. The day of Mikhail's disappearance. I always wondered why he looked upset that day. Yo, no way. Portal's opening up right in front of him. Oh shit, what would you actually do with that? Why has he took that though?
Ich bin's, Peter. Es gibt hier was du sehen solltest. Wie ist es? Ist unmöglich.
Oh, somebody else is coming down. Oh, no way. Is she bringing me?
Claudia. Es gibt eine Menge, das ich euch erklären muss.
See, we don't have much time left. Like it's already planned, like something that's has to happen. Do you know what I mean? He has to go to that certain location. It's not as if you're dropping his body anywhere. And I was gonna say, you know, he would notice that that was his son straight away, and he did do. And I'm surprised that actually now thinking back in it, Ulrich never actually realised that that was his brother, to be honest. But again, your memory could fade when you was younger, do you know what I mean? And it's been a big distance, and he was focusing on his own son, Mikhail, do you know what I mean? But it's interesting here, like, what would you actually do if you sat down, right, and a portal just opened in front of you now, yeah, and a kid just dropped dead in front of you in your house? Would you call the police straight away, or would you try and drag the body out and put it somewhere else? But then again, your DNA could be on it and you'd look suspicious. And then I don't really know. Or if you called the police and said there's a dead kid here, then you'd be the first one to look at. How's the kid got in your house? Oh yeah, he fell through a portal that's just opened up. Yeah, right, whatever. You know what I mean? You're getting arrested. You know, it'd be really interesting. The only way that you could kind of say it's a little bit of a positive maybe would be checking to see the saliva on his mouth to show that you was trying to revive him. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, kid's found out on your property dead and you've got no explanation for it. 12th of November? That's not the day his dad killed himself, is it? 4th, is it?
Scheiße gebaut. Seitdem Mikkel weg ist, ich kenne mich selber nicht mehr wieder.
To be fair, he's not actually been that bad yet, but he's got a task. He's got something, no one's giving him something, so what was it? We've got a lot to conclude really, haven't we? If you think about it. He's been missing for time now.
Wusstest du es? Der Junge aus der Zukunft. Das ist unmöglich.
Was?
Ich habe ihn verbrannt. Seit wann weißt du es?
Eigentlich wusste ich es schon immer. Ich dachte einfach nur, dass er zu viel Fantasie hat. Dass ihm etwas Schlimmes passiert ist, das er nicht aushalten konnte.
Warum hast du es dann nicht verhindert?
Ich wusste nicht, dass er sich das Leben nimmt.
Aber du hättest Mikkel retten können. Ich habe jetzt noch eine Oma und die ist Direktorin an meiner Schule. Ihr Mann, der nebenbei meine Mutter fickt, sucht seinen Sohn, der mein Vater ist.
Wie unnormal. Und wie seltsam sie uns erscheinen, aus einem Grund passieren. Wer weiß, was die Zukunft bringt.
Ich will einfach nur, dass alles wieder normal ist.
Ich träumte, ich wäre ein Schmetterling. Und jetzt bin ich aufgewacht und ich weiß nicht mehr, ob ich ein Mensch bin, der gerade geträumt hat, dass er ein Schmetterling ist. Oder bin ich ein Schmetterling, der gerade träumt, ein Mensch zu sein. Was bist du? Ein Mensch oder ein Schmetterling? Vielleicht bin ich beides.
I was gonna say, guys both.
Blick in die Kamera. Warum haben Sie die Kinder getötet?
Ich habe die Kinder nicht getötet, ich habe versucht, sie zu retten.
Lass mich los!
Sollst du eigentlich schon oder kam das erst später, nachdem deine Frau dich verlassen hat und du gemerkt hast, wie jämmerlich und erbärmlich du bist?
Lass mich zu meinem Sohn. Ich muss meinen Sohn suchen.
Ich habe auf dich gewartet. Donnerstag? Ja, fuck. Wie? Tut mir leid.
Fuck.
Martha hat mir alles erzählt. Du bist ein krankes Stück Scheiße! Genau wie dein Vater.
Mann, was soll der Scheiß? Seid ihr bescheuert?
What did she tell him? Because, right, yeah, okay, that episode where she was acting on the stage and he went into the back, yeah, they did make out. They probably had sex with each other or whatever, so I actually can't remember now. But the thing is, he obviously kind of went in with the first insinuation, but they both engaged, it wasn't forced. And then later on, last episode, you know, he was at his house and she was waiting there, basically saying that there's something between us and don't tell me you don't want it and all of this stuff. And now in this episode, she's gone to her boyfriend, started saying this stuff about him, and obviously, I'm not saying that she's lied to him, but basically it's selective picking, isn't it? Let's be honest, she must have told him the truth, but also left out a big chunk of it as well. So technically, she's lying or she's not giving the full story. It's obviously looking bad on him. And also, we know that Ulrich doesn't get killed, because if he did, then he wouldn't be in 19, would it? Or whatever, so he doesn't get arrested. He doesn't die in this timeline, so I want to know how he gets out of it as well.
Sie haben ihn repariert. Das ist ihrer. Das ist meiner. Dieses Ding hier, das sendet eine Art Signal. Wollte es mit etwas kommunizieren. Und jetzt schauen Sie sich das mal an. Dieser Block hier hat sich nie gedreht. Er war in den Bauplänen, aber ich wusste nie wofür. Nur die Vergangenheit beeinflusst die Zukunft. Auch die Zukunft beeinflusst die Vergangenheit. Keine Ahnung, wozu die gut sein sollen.
He knows what the purpose of it is.
Was ist das?
137 CS.
Die durch einen elektromagnetischen Impuls zu einem schwarzen Loch implodiert.
Warum haben Sie sich entschlossen, mir doch zu helfen?
Warum entscheiden wir uns für das eine und gegen das andere? Dass vielleicht alles in meinem Leben auf genau diesen einen Moment hinausgelaufen ist. Dass ich Teil eines Puzzles bin. Verraten Sie mir, wie es ist in der Zukunft?
Morgen schon anders als heute.
You know what I mean? Well, first of all, he was talking about the paradox, basically. He was saying, look, mate, it's not just the past that, you know, implements or impacts the future. It's the future that impacts the past. And, you know, you hear that quite often, but I don't know, I'm not no scientist or anything, but I disagree with it, because the future can't impact the past because the future's not happened during the past. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever we're doing now, we didn't influence back in 1909. You know what I mean? Whatever happened in there was not influenced by the future, in my opinion. You know, scientists could come along with all this stuff and all this part, you know what I mean? Time travel and all this crap, but I don't believe it. For example, he's just said there that, you know, technically, without you coming and giving me something from the future, then I wouldn't be able to create this that was in the past that would help you influence the future. But that's just BS, because, you know, he wouldn't have... this device was already made before he had that phone. He never created that device. I personally believe, anyway, we got to follow it, like, because that's what they're saying. But I personally think that when he made that device in '86, that he never actually had that mobile phone when he done it. You know, he created it a different way. It was just that this time around, he had a device which would have obviously elevated him and quickly done it, and he figured it out much faster than previously, you know. But at the first time, the instance when it was originally made, it wasn't the future that impacted the past, it was just him in the present, which would have been the past, that would have figured it out. You know what I mean? Not everything has to have something that has the ripple effect. You know, you do have ripple effects. Like I was saying here, he's hoping that he could change the future. You know what I mean? He just asked him, and he was like, he's hoping that it's going to be different from yesterday or whatever, or today. But again, that can't be true, can it? The future past November 12th, which is the present for Jonas, can change, but up until that point there, everything should stay the same. Everything what's meant to be should be meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, you hear it all the time. So it is interesting, but I don't think that everything that's happening in the past is influenced from what's happened in the future.
Hör zu, Charlotte, ich muss mit dir reden.
Später, okay? Ich muss los.
Kann ich Ihnen helfen?
See, he's speaking to himself.
Kommen Sie zu mir. Du musst aufhören. Muss ich aufhören? Er nutzt sich aus. Alles, was er verspricht, sind Lügen. Alles, was Noah sagt, ist eine Lüge. Ist das Böse. Heute ist der Tag. Der Anfang und das Ende. Du musst aufhören. Ich muss aufhören.
Ich habe mich geprügelt.
Was? Mit wem denn?
Das ist nicht so wichtig. Alles wird gut. Ich habe noch was in der Schule vergessen. Mach dir keine Sorgen, es wird alles gut, Mama.
Gefragt. Und Helge. Was 53 passiert ist.
Alles, was sie gesagt hat, ist in den letzten 8 Tagen passiert. Genauso, wie es hier steht.
Was passiert nach heute?
Alles neu.
He can't live, though. He wouldn't make any sense, like...
Vor Jahren, ich war noch ein kleiner Junge, kam ein Fremder zu uns. Er sah aus, als wäre er im Krieg gewesen. Hat nicht viel gesprochen. In seinen Augen war diese Traurigkeit. Und im Flur, mit großen Augen, und sagte, nichts ist umsonst. Keine seiner Worte verstanden. Erst später, als der Schmerz zu mir kam, da habe ich verstanden, was er meinte. Dass sie uns zu dem machen, was wir sind. Dass aus ihnen all unsere Kraft entsteht. Den Schmerz hat dich gemacht, Helge. Aber er hat keine Macht mehr über dich.
Wer ist der Nächste?
Jonas kam bald.
Jonas is next. But he's gone back now.
Es wird ihm gut gehen, machen Sie sich keine Sorgen. Sie können ihn noch gerne besuchen kommen.
Ich habe mich entschieden, ich möchte adoptieren. Und gerne die Vormundschaft für den Jungen übernehmen, solange das Adoptionsverfahren läuft.
Das ist leider nicht so einfach.
Ich habe Referenzen. Ich besitze ein Haus. Welcher Tag ist heute?
Der 12.
Ich meine, welches Jahr?
86. Was machst du hier?
Ich hole jemanden zurück von den Toten.
Kannst du die zurückholen?
Nein, du musst sie holen, wenn sie noch jünger sind.
I just don't understand how they like finding and changing people, because it'll change the whole past, present and future. It actually would do. But wait, has that already happened then? It has done. It's not like right now, it's actually happened. I know that sounds confusing to say because obviously it's happened, we've just seen it, but like the event, how can you explain that? Like, although it's right now, that did actually happen. So then the guy obviously must have gone back in the past and given the phone. So the future does impact the past, according to this show and this episode. But how would you actually how would you actually work that out and like kind of speak to Ulrich about it? Because technically Ulrich's been in the past, yeah, 100%. But it's also been in the present for her as well, 1,000,000%. That's absolute fact. She was with him like yesterday. So like this image was taken clearly donkeys ago, you know what I mean? But he's also here now. So like how does that physically work in terms of like his mind and body? The only you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing I can't kind of physically understand. I can follow that he's in two different timelines. I can follow that he's going through the portholes. I can follow that he's trying to change time. And I can follow that he's done actions that got him arrested, that got him in reports, which obviously would be a thing in 86. But what I can't kind of physically understand is the fact that, you know, he's in the paper in 86 because he's definitely clearly there. And it would have been printed all those years ago, 33 years ago. But then again, he's obviously here clearly in the present, like yesterday, whatever, for Charlotte. But he doesn't remember being back in the 86 doing those actions. So then how does it technically work? Do you know what I mean? Like, does it change the mind? Does it erase it? It's actually really interesting.
Bitte lass mich raus. Ich bin hier weit vor Reden.
Wer sind Sie? Hey, was soll das? Was ist das hier? Warum haben Sie mich eingesperrt?
Das war nicht ich. Das war Noah. Die Passage in der Höhle liegt genau unter diesem Bunker. Steht sie offen, läuft die Energie durch diesen Raum. Aber man muss sie verstärken. Kein DeLorean, kein Zischen und Dampfen. Die erste Zeitmaschine ist ein Bunker mit 4 Wänden. Weißt du das nicht?
Was ist das?
Der Brief. Du hast ihn verbrannt. Und trotzdem existiert er noch. Du wirst diesen Brief fast 33 Jahre bei dir tragen, bevor du ihn weitergeben wirst.
Fucking hell, it's him.
Ich bin du. Mein Name ist Jonas Kahnwald.
So he don't die then? He's clearly alive.
Ich habe diesen Brief verbrannt, genauso wie du, und habe ihn von unserer Großmutter wiederbekommen.
Verrückt! Das macht überhaupt gar keinen Sinn!
Aber ich kann dich nicht herauslassen, weil du dann nicht zu dem wirst, was ich heute bin. Verändere ich jetzt meine Vergangenheit, verändere ich auch meine Gegenwart. Und dann kann ich dieses Loch nicht ein für alle Mal zerstören.
Aufhören, bitte. Ich will das Mickel zurück. Ich will, dass es wieder normal ist. Ich will, dass der ganze kranke Scheiß aufhört.
Das willst du immer noch. 33 Jahre später. Ich will das immer noch.
He's saying the cycles happened before, but like, would you not try and change the cycle then if you wanted to change what happens? He's the only one that we didn't see in the past or the future. Ooh, that is a proper hit. What if we're following the whole storyline? This has always happened. It's nothing new.
Ältere Jonas wird das Loch zerstören, aber Was er nicht weiß, ist, dass er der Auslöser dafür sein wird, dass es überhaupt existiert. Ein Paradoxon. Die meisten Menschen sind nur Bauern auf einem Schachbrett. Geführt von fremder Hand. Von draußen gibt es zwei Gruppen, die um die Vorherrschaft über das Reisen durch die Zeit kämpfen. Licht und Schatten. Wir gehören zum Licht. Solange wir in der Zeitschleife sind, müssen wir Wissenden dafür sorgen, dass jeder Schritt genauso getan wird wie zuvor. Egal wie unmenschlich er uns erscheint. Welche Opfer er auch immer von uns abverlangt. Jonas hat dir vertraut und er wird dir wieder vertrauen. Jonas denkt, er wird alles verändern, dabei ist er nichts als ihre Marionette. Nur wer Geduld hat, wird jemals siegreich sein, aber muss stark sein. Kannst du das?
Ja.
Right, so he's just basically said there's light and dark, and he's on the light side, and Claudia's on the dark side. Ooh. But that kind of makes me feel like season 2 is going to be about the light and the dark. That's what I kind of feel. I know it's obviously called Dark, but I feel like it's going to be two sides going for it, because there's no way that we can end this season here. You know, I was talking about new season, new stories, but this is just impossible. Like, Ulrich is still back in time. You know, Jonas is still back in time. You know, you got the aftermath and the impacts of 19 still there. Claudia's, is it Claudia? Charlotte, I think, still trying to figure it out. You know, she's making connections. We still got this here in the car. Basically, we're saying that it's a paradox itself. You know what I mean? Like, all of this has to happen for it to all happen, to keep going round in the cycle. He said that he's spoken to himself before. He was on the other side of the door and he come down and spoken to him. But it keeps cycling every 33 years. And, like, is that Noah's plan for it all to happen again and again and again, specifically at these times, these points, these kids, these people? You know what I mean? Because basically, if he does it and keeps it in this loop, the light keep the side of the time travel and the dark can never get it. Is that what he's saying? I don't know, mate. Honestly, I don't really know.
Extinguish all my recent past. Quiet life from me. I lost, I ran. I started once anew.
Are all three timelines being hit?
North and grey in drizzling rain. So the hunter is now the hunted. A quiet life for someone, and a quiet life for me.
And that's a room where Jonas is going to be up in above. Oh, it's a Helga. So this would show the future, wouldn't it? Would this not be the now? You know what I mean? Like, because if she's got pictures of everybody from the past, present, and future, then you've got to be in the future, have you not? Ah, this is after something's happened to maybe the nuclear plant. You know, that's why there's ash all over the place. Would you hide? Way in the future, mate. That's what it is. Look at that.
Willkommen in der Zukunft.
Welcome to the future. He knows that he's from the past. So, I think it's mad, mate. Honestly, like, we've literally finished the season, right? And not everything has kind of been answered. I mean, everything is open-ended, but, like, it's decent. It is decent, actually. Like I said, you know, I always like new stories for new seasons, but we ended it with old story and new story continuous, which is good. It actually is good. Like, the reason why I'm not sad about it, if that makes sense, is because, you know, we didn't just end with Jonas in his normal original timeline and everything's still kind of going on and you just left like, oh, so he's in 2019, whatever. No, mate, we have literally changed and gone into a new timeline, a new story, which then obviously is exciting because now we've got a new one to tell with all these new people and we've got the old one to conclude with the old ones. And it's like, that's really good because you kind of get the best of both worlds. You're getting continuous of what you already know and you're getting the freshness of a new season. So, I mean, I can't really complain, to be honest. I feel like they ended it really well. And they must have known that he was going to do a second season as they started progressing through because, you know, I just think straight away you could tell when something's decent. You really can. Especially like if you aired it to a studio when you've done like 2 or 3 episodes, you'd be like, this is good. You know, I'll commit to a second season. I feel like it's very interesting. People will be engaging in this. And, you know, I know it's only a small limited series as well. Like 3 seasons, like 20 odd episodes or 30 episodes. But sometimes that doesn't mean that it gets cancelled because it was underperforming. Sometimes that means that, you know, you do it, you're in, you're out, you leave the good impression, everybody's happy, no negative thoughts to say, everybody's like, what a great show. You know what I mean? Like, you need to know sometimes when to step back and just say, today's the day, we're going to call it, we're doing great, and we're always going to leave a good impression. Do you know what I mean? Even the show Chernobyl, you know, it's only 6 episodes long, I think. Fantastic. You know what I mean? They don't have to extend it anymore. It's just great how it is. And I know in today's episode, so do you reckon he's jumped 33 years? Do you reckon that's what it is? And if he has jumped 33 years, what year technically would that be? 2052, would it? Yeah, I think it was. Because, no, it wouldn't be. It'd be 43 plus 10. Yeah, it would be 2052 because he was in 2019. So it'd be really interesting to see, obviously, that way advanced in there. You know what I mean? I don't know who these people are. They could be extensions of his family. They could be, you know, relatives. You know, they seem to be not kind of shocked that he's potentially from the past, if that makes sense. You know, he's just asked what year is it. They knew instantly. They didn't actually, you know, react like, oh, what's he saying? Who's this guy? They was just like, welcome to the future. Boom, as if they've experienced it before. So, mate, I'm really excited for the second season. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. 10 episodes in. Very interested to see, obviously, what we do in the second season. I mean, you know, very interesting stuff. We're jumping into the future now. I can't wait to see, obviously, what we have revealed to us next season. But, obviously, we've got to conclude and carry on with the characters that we've obviously got to know and love this one as well. Basically, we've got open stories, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you remember... Basically, you know, Jonas's mum hired that guy to make Ulrich's life a living hell. Literally no continuation of that at all, which is fair because obviously he's not there. Like, but, you know, that has been implemented, so hopefully we see something happening with that. They did see a big dome kind of like coming up into the sky, and we had an interesting visual as well of Jonas inside the tunnel, or whatever you call it, with a machine there that was opening it up, and his dad was on one side, and he was on the other. That was interesting. I don't technically know if he was there or if he's not, if it was a vision of something that his dad's done in the past, or, you know, whether he's gone back in the time to do this. You know, he was saying as well that these things have happened already, and, you know, he's already been on the other side of that door and speaking to himself, and it's a continuous loop. And, like, Noah was talking to his mate as well, and he was basically saying that he's the light side of the... Basically, it's a light in the dark, and he's on the light and Claudia's on the dark, and basically, you know, they need to protect and make sure everything happens in the cycle that continuously does it, which again is really interesting. I don't know if he is good or if he is bad, you know what I mean? He seems kind of mysterious anyway, and so far I would lean on the bad side because I don't really know what he's all about right now. Do you know what I mean? He's mysterious, and he has been in the different timelines, and if you look at stuff that's happening as well, it's interesting that Charlotte's obviously found the newspaper article, looking and seeing a picture of Ulrich on there, and I was trying to... I don't know if I can, like, kind of physically express, like, how I try, like, what I'm trying to say, like, with him. Like, it's confusing in terms of the fact that, like, he was there in 53, basically attacking the kid, but then he's here in 2019 with no recollection of that happening. That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, obviously, if you think about it, if he's gone all the way back there and he's come all the way to 19, that would have been 66 years ago, which technically probably should be dead. He should be, shouldn't he? Like, let's be honest. But he was there in in 53 and he was doing those actions and he was in the paper and it got photographed and it was in there and it was printed and it's facts. But then obviously he was all the way in 19 and he was still alive and he was in that present and he had his kid and he was working for a job and she knows him and that's facts. So is there something that happens in this middle here that's obviously brought him back to the present? But then obviously if he comes back to the present, he must have known that back in the past that his kid has gone missing. So then if he comes back to the present, why didn't he try to like prevent it? Does that make sense? I'm hoping it does. Basically, Jonas was kind of saying to himself that he knew this cycle was happening and it has to happen. But like, maybe that's how Ulrich sees it as well. I don't know. Also know he's definitely factually in two timelines and he remembers being in both. But then obviously it doesn't prevent anything happening in 2019, even though he knows that his son goes missing back, you know what I mean, back then when he was in the 53, when he was getting in the paper. But also he knows that his brother went missing, obviously, in 86 as well. So, like, Ulrich is pretty much key. Like, I feel like he's a big, massive factor into it. He's the only one, I believe, that has been in all three timelines with knowledge of kind of, like, what's gone on, technically. Now, I know that in 86 that he didn't know that his son was going to go missing in the future. And I know that he never knew that, obviously, his son was going to be in the past. But he knew that his brother went missing in 86. And, obviously, he's experienced time in 2019. And he's experienced the time in 53 as well. So I mean, it is proper confusing if I'm being totally honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna even pretend that I'm totally clued up on it and following it, but like, I do think it's interesting that we need to fully bring him back into the story. He has to be in it, but I think I'm more excited now to see what's going on in the future, to be honest. I actually really am. Again, it was a good twist that it was Jonas like speaking to himself, and he was the one doing the information and checking it and going through the cycle. And, you know, he was like, basically, I got the letter, I give it to you, you burned it, and then you got it and you received it again off your grandma. Do you know what I mean? I like how he sat down and he was having a moan as well about the cycle of, like, kissing his aunt and stuff like that. That was good as well. Proper head mesh for him. And basically saying that he's the one that's wrong, they're not the one that's wrong as well. And I don't know, I feel like the season's been really good, to be honest. It's been full of twists and turns, and I've got to admit, like, I 100% don't understand everything that's gone on. I don't even claim to, but the fact that it's getting me mind guessing and thinking, and now I'll probably spend another 5-10 minutes after this, like, trying to, you know, just look into it and, like, think, yeah, that's it, he's doing there, yeah, that makes sense, this one, that one, do you know what I mean? That's what I like to see, you know, engagement, stuff that gets me going and interested and making me excited for the next episode. So season 2 is going to be really good. I can't wait for it. Thanks for checking out the channel today. Hopefully, guys, stick around for it. If you did enjoy today's, please smash a like. It really helps out. Subscribe if you do. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.